like to present to you,
ladies and gentlemen, introducing the World Heavyweight Champion of Beats.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Now, ladies and gentlemen, repeat after me.
Global House Session.
That's what I'm talking about.
Welcome to our house.
I love this show.
Now that we've introduced the main musical elements, here comes the beat.
Niall Redmond, boosting up the best of the best garage and deep vocal house in sound. Turn it up.
How the heck are ya? Welcome to the GHS. Once again, Niall Redmond sitting in for Steve Shyam Mafia Watts this week. We have an amazing show lined up for you tonight. Did you enjoy last week's show? If you're a regular listener, hopefully you did. If you're a dipper in and out, or maybe go back and have it either look at the video or have a listen on the platforms that you can listen back on anyway. Lots of great brand new music this week. We got all the usual features coming at you too. Platform play coming up in about 20 minutes. But we got to get through these amazing tunes first. Right, this is Brock Edwards from Canada and Jacques Waty. The tune is called In XTC, as in the letters. And this is the original mix we're going to play for you. Pogo House Recordings is the label right here on the GHS.
the finest ingredients are right in the mix.
Well, to say I was excited about playing this one is an understatement, believe me. Whoa, what an opener! I was so excited I forgot to thank everyone. So big thanks going out to Mark Wormsley and the Save Our Souls crew right here on Gravity FM. Back next week. Thanks, guys. Over there in Unique Sessions Radio, where we are simulcasting. Big thanks to Steve Palmer. Big love to you, mate. Well done. As I said, once again, Niall Redmond sitting in for Steve Shyam Mafia Watts. He's on his extended holidays this week for the second week. He's back next week, though. So second week in a row for me to fill in for him. Edwards and Jacques Waty in Ecstasy, the name of that. The original makes Pogo House Recordings kicking things off in fine style tonight, isn't it? Yeah.
Feel good house music on the Global House Session.
Another bad one. On the Global House Session.
Global House Session.
Now imagine it was your birthday and your Uncle Niall took you out for the day. And we said we'll go into the city and you know what, we'll get some confectionery, we'll get some chocolate. First stop, we get off the bus, we go into the sweet shop and we say let's get some chocolate. That's a really good idea to kick things off. And you look at the array of chocolate and you say wow, what am I going to do? I want it all. Just kind of reasonable. So, you want it all, you can't have it all. And your Uncle Niall turns around to you and says, I tell you what, get two. Why don't you get two for one? You're on your holidays. You're on a day out. So, that may seem like ramblings of a madman, and it probably is. But it's the reason I'm telling you that is this is the second version of the same tune that I'm playing for you tonight. I simply could not decide, like the child in the sweet shop, what I wanted, so I've gone with the both. I think you'll allow me that tonight and be very happy I did that for you, right? So we started off Brock Edwards and Jacques Waty in Ecstasy, the original mix, and this, the Sasha Virus remix. Not Coronavirus remix, Sasha Virus remix. How could you choose between those two amazing versions of the same tune? So there you go, a little bit of an extended, almost 10-minute opener for you there on the GHS. Right, loads to come on the show. Even you probably feel like a bit of chocolate now. Go get some chocolate if you wish. But loads to come on the show. Platform play coming up. We have, of course, the Traxsource, brand new Traxsource Top 10. That's coming up just before the Hot Mix tonight. We have our Sexy 3. Really sexy, nice exclusives in there too for you. Actually, a good few exclusive. Platform play is an exclusive tonight. And Andy McCall will be very happy. No trips to the record fair this week. Staying firmly in the house, okay?
Oh yeah, drop another bad one.
We sure will. This is brand new from James Silk. We're spinning Nikita Warren, Needin You in here. This is Needin You. It's the original mix though on very Dublin. It's spelt this way, so even with my accent, it lends itself nicely. 361, spelt like the trees outside my window here.
Global House Session.
FM.
Finest ingredients are right in the mix.
Global House Session.
Tell you, we're cooking up your Wednesday night right from the get-go, aren't we? And possibly your Saturday night too. Of course, I can't forget that we broadcast Saturday night too as a repeat right here on Gravity FM. So whatever you're having yourself. You just heard James Silk, Needin You, and it was the original mix on 360, as in the leaves on the trees, at 361. Right, first exclusive of the night for you.
Exclusive.
Protect the young ears out there, Grantham area especially. I'm going to give this my best Dublinism. The label here is Whorehouse, okay?
If you don't give up, you can get it done.
This is the Valiant Kings.
If you don't give up,
Just heard the title, it's called Another Day. This is the Club Mix. Gonna bring us up to the platform play tonight.
Exclusive.
Don't you ever stop. You can reach the top. Yeah, yeah. Everybody do the thing. Keep on reaching, and you can do yours. I know you can do it, but nobody else. No, no, no. Just know that you got yours. You got yours. If you don't give up, just don't give up. You can get it done. I know you can get it done. You don't give up. You can get it done.
I got the blood pumping. It was the musical equivalent of a toboggan ride for the first 20 minutes of the show tonight. Brock Edwards and Jacques Waty, double version for you tonight. Kicking things off with In Ecstasy, the original into the Sasha Virus remix. That's out right now. Before this one, James Silk with that familiar piano, Needin You. The original mix on 360. Spelled tree, T-R-E-E, the Dublin way of saying three. There you go. And then the Valiant Kings right there on the Dublin way of saying whorehouse. Records, Another Day, the name of that. That's a club mix for you right there. This is a little exclusive, so I'd imagine this is possibly dropping next week. So get your hands on that then. The Valiant Kings, Another Day. Right, that's bringing us up to this week's platform play, which is also an exclusive. That's the good news, and it involves a dear friend of mine who, since, of course, subsequent travel has been knocked on the head due to COVID and all that kind of thing. I haven't seen him in a while, but I would have been seeing him last weekend. But you're going to hear him now, so at least that's something.
Platform play, 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 platform play.
Oh, give me breath back after them openers. Unreal. Right, this is the platform play this week. It comes from my dear friend Stephen Stone, all the way in Zurich. This time, Shyam P. Sounds a bit like Pete Simpson on the vocals. It's in fact Shyam P on the vocals. Done a lot of work with the likes of Husky. I think he's from that neck of the woods. That neck of the woods being the southern hemisphere. So this is Shyam P on the vocals, Stephen Stone on the knobs and produzione. It's called Break Free, forthcoming on Deep Deluxe.
Platform play, 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 platform play. Exclusive, 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 exclusive.
I'm just looking for some freedom. I just wanna go outside, 'cause I'm so tired of waiting. I can't hold back, I need to go, 'cause if I stay I'll lose my mind. Too many times before, I miss my chance, so I need to go.
exclusive.
I just love to go and explore.
Platform play, platform play, platform play, platform play.
If I stay, I'll lose my mind. Too many times before, I miss my chance, so I need to get away and break free. I know I deserve so much more. I need to get away and break free. There's a whole new life out there for me. It's time to break free. It's time to break free. I need to live my life and set my soul free.
Exclusive. Gravity FM.
I'm still searching for the answers. I just love to go and explore. But I'm so tired of waiting. I can't hold back. I need to go. 'Cause if I stay, I'll lose my mind. Too many times before.
Platform play, platform play, platform play, platform play. Exclusive, 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 exclusive.
I need to live my life, set my soul free. I'm still searching for the answer.
I love that bit. I love that bit particularly. Big synthy stab. I can see Stephen in his studio doing that. Glasses on him. All Italian and suave like he is. What a great guy. Miss him a lot, I really do. Anyway, soon, very soon. However, you're hearing him right there. It is this week's platform play. Stephen Stone Shyam P, and it's called Break Free. Forthcoming hopefully next week for you. We're playing you the extended mix on that. That's Deep Deluxe Records, not Soul Deluxe in case you're going looking, but surely if you have a little Traxsource search for Stephen Stone and Shyam P, that will come up maybe in the pre-orders right now. But it's this week's platform play for the 11th of August. Right, we'll keep the exclusives going. What's he going to think I'm getting it up for him? As in winding him up. It's another one from Trois Garcon this week. It's great though. Of course, last week we had Save My Lovin' on Trois Garcon from John Fitz as the platform play. Well, this week we have the tune that's going to be the release after that. Next for you, it's Wayne Soul Avengerz and Odyssey Inc.
Exclusive.
This features the wonderful Amanda Wilson on the vocals. Tune here is called Another Sleepless Night. And this, as we said, Trois Garcon. Trois Garcon.
The finest ingredients are right in the mix.
Exclusive, 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 exclusive.
Global House Social.
Remembering times when we were together, feeling all so safe and warm, baby in your arms. But you just took my love and pushed me to the side, thinking I'll be there for you like the others do. You to move a little closer to your heart, but in your
Exclusive.
Exclusive.
Good house music on the Global House Session. Exclusive, 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 exclusive,
It's called Another Sleepless Night. Wayne Soul Avengerz and Odyssey Inc. Exclusive to the GHS tonight. That is Amanda Wilson on the vocals. Trois, as in three. Garcon, as in guys, is the label. I give that about 3 weeks, I'm afraid. But it will be dropping, just not quite right now. Lovely. Played that on my own digital groove show on Monday, and Lee Wilson lit up. It's amazing. This tune's amazing. He's right. It's great. I'm trying to think what has happened. What has happened since we did this last week? Well, actually, while we were on air, and I'll give you a kind of a hint on this. While we were on air last week, the news came through that Paul Johnson had passed away from COVID-19. So, of course, we didn't mention it on the show because we didn't know. So we're going to address that this week through, of course, the one for the disco. Give you one guess what it's going to be. As a little tribute and homage to Paul Johnson, who sadly passed away at 50 years of age last week. Also, I'm going to try and give you a heads up on the hot mix. It's kind of gone a little bit wrong. So I probably better explain because I have a little idea that I'm going to try and work out while we get these next few tunes done. Anyway, it involved some mini disc action. Now I have two portable mini disc players, and one behind me here you can't see if you're watching, of course, but I have two mini disc players here, and both of them are not helping me out in regard to the footage I need of said mini disc that I spent an hour looking for. Anyway, let me sweat about that one, so I won't announce anything yet in case I'm left very red-faced. But we shall get some kind of hot mix. We might go back to the vinyl if we have to. Did you enjoy the vinyl hot mix last week? Good bit of fun on it. Okay, another exclusive for you right now.
Exclusive.
She's giving you the title as well. All Your Love. This is Ridney, Laura Vane, and Jayefel, I think it is. Jayefel. Whoops. Have my eyes in upside down. I beg your pardon. No printer still. I'm reading it off screen. Let There Be House is the label here at Newcastle, not too far from Grantham here. Well, certainly closer to Grantham than it is to Dublin.
Oh yeah, drop another bad one.
Exclusive.
Gravity FM.
Exclusive.
Global House.
Trying to think of some good things that happened in the last week, certainly in my world, and there was many, believe me. The fear of sounding ungrateful. Well, here's, you know what? 2 gigs now for you guys in the UK listening, maybe elsewhere in the world, but certainly in Ireland. I was trying to explain to somebody last night. In Ireland, no DJ has done a gig, an official gig, since March 2020, and that was my last gig. Was the 13th of March 2020. I've a booking here happening in a couple of weeks. In fact, it's just a week away now. And I have a booking for Slovakia. I was asked to do a gig in Austria. So that's great. So that's good news. You know, things are looking up. I know you guys had your Freedom Day and your Emancipation, your whatever, a couple of weeks ago now. But, you know, we're still kind of repressed here in Ireland. So I'm excited about that. Excited about this tune too. A little bit of Room 5 in here, is there? A little bit Oliver Cheatham in here. This is Henry John Morgan and Angela Caplaz. The tune is called Never Over. You just heard Ridney, Laura Vane, and I'll get it right this time, Jayefel. There you go. It was called All Your Love. It was the original mix on Let There Be House. That's coming at you, I think, the end of this week. This is out right now, this tune here, and it's the Cube guys on the mix for Cube Recordings. We're going to be sexy threeing it after this, and I need to try and salvage my idea for the hot mix. It was a great idea. I like all the great last minute ideas. Something maybe messed up. Anyway.
For you
FM.
I love the way we never give up. We're fighters, yes, we want to go up. You push me and I love your power. Let me rain on your mind so you can fly. My love for you is never over. And my lust for you is growing stronger. Life without you would be much harder. Between me and you we're never over.
So I have another good thing to happen this week. My internet is back working as of yesterday. Which is a godsend because I've just sent an email off to two dear friends of mine. And I'm waiting, hopefully they'll get back to me in the next 20 minutes. And that might save our hot mix tonight. All will be revealed if it works out, right? I should have just said nothing anyway. Anyway. Right, this is bringing us up to the Sexy 3 tonight. It is brand new from Henry John Morgan and Angela Caplaz on the vocals there. The tune is called Never Over. That's the Cube Guys mix on their own Cube recordings. Our platform play this week was from our dear friend Stephen Stone all the way in Zurich with Shyam P. A tune called Break Free, the extended mix forthcoming on Deep Deluxe out in a couple of weeks. With Wayne Soul of Avengerz and the Odyssey Inc. crew featuring Amanda Wilson after that with another Sleepless night on Trois, Garcon, and before the tune you're hearing here, Ridney with Laura, Vane and Jayefel. The tune called All Your Love, and it was the original mix on Let There Be House recordings. Right, we're going to count 3 sexy tunes in for you and then take it up to the Traxsource 10 most wanted tracks this week in the top 10 of their 100 most downloaded tunes, I guess. So you can hear what all you record buyers and listeners and DJs are buying out there this week. Couple of changes in that chart. So that's coming up at you, but we want to get sexy first. So let's bring you through this week's Sexy 3.
The Sexy 3.
Okay, they don't come much sexier than Mr. Ross Couch. Actually, kind of looking at the list that's ahead of me here, we should really call these the deep sexy 3, okay? They're a little deeper tonight, but that's okay. They're deep and sexy, right? So we start off with this. It is Ross Couch. It is forthcoming tomorrow. You can grab this tomorrow, Thursday. It's called Simple Things. So right now it is an exclusive for you, but that's only going to be for another hour or two, okay? Number 3 in the Sexy 3 this week.
Exclusive. 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 Number 3. The Sexy 3.
checking the global house session.
Global House Session.
The Sexy 3. Number 3. Exclusive.
Number 3 in our Sexy 3 tunes this week, in no particular order, might I add. We said that last week too. We're just playing the 3 sexy tunes of the week for you. Our dear friend Ross Couch up in Glasgow, and we have said it is an exclusive until midnight, out tomorrow, Thursday the 12th of August. That is brand new from him though, on his own Body Rhythm Records. Tune is called Simple Things. And yeah, lovely. Just came right in time for the show tonight. Number 2. The Sexy 3. Number 2. Right, sandwiched in the middle here as our second sexy tune of this week. From Migs featuring Andy Allo off his album on Soufuric. This is a tune called Sensations. We're playing the Sandy Rivera classic mix. This may make an appearance in the Traxsource Top 10, who knows? But here it is in all its glory for you. Number 2 this week on our Sexy 3. Number 2.
Gravity FM.
Number 2. The Sexy 3. Number 2. The Sexy 3.
Global House Station.
Sure is Gravity FM Wednesday night and of course repeated Saturday night too, and we're on Unique Sessions Radio this Wednesday night as well. If you have just joined us, we're smack bang in the middle of the Sexy 3 tunes this week. Ross Couch before this one, a tune called Simple Things, out tomorrow on his own Body Rhythm. That was number 3. This is number 2, Sandy Rivera on the classic mix from Migs and Andy Allo, tune called Sensations. That's on Soufuric. That's number 2 this week. Bringing us to our number 1. Right, it also looks just out of the corner of my eye. Potentially the hot mix idea has been saved, okay? I'll tell you about it after this, alright? Better go to our Traxsource Top 10 after this one too. But in the meantime, here is this week's number 1.
Tonight's Global House Session, number 1. Number 1. Number 1. The Sexy 3. Tonight's Global House Session, number 1. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1.
I played this on my own show on Monday. Absolutely fell in love with it. I normally fall in love with all this guy's tunes anyway. DeMarcus Lewis on this one, number 1 this week. Tune is just called Basically. And it's on Crossland Music this week's number 1.
Sexy 3. Global House Session, number 1. Number 1. Number 1. tonight's Global House Session, number one. The Sexy Three.
Number one this week. The man from Dallas, Mr. DeMarcus Lewis, tune called Basically. That's on Crossland Music, this week's number one. Before it, Migs, Andy Allo, and a tune called Sensations. Sandy Rivera on the classic mix for Sulfuric Deep on that one. And kicking off our Sexy 3 seg tonight was Ross Couch, all the way from Glasgow. Simple Things, forthcoming tomorrow on his Body Rhythm Records. Right, we're about to hit the Traxsource Top 10. I'm going to work on something in the background while we're doing this. So tonight I wanted to reintroduce the Producer Spotlight Hot Mix. We haven't done one of them in a while since I covered the show. And I had a mini disc. That I've tried now in 3 mini disc players that's coming up as blank. That should have been a lot of the content first. So I have a backup idea that's very short notice for the people involved, but let's see what happens. And we should reveal all because we've got about 5 minutes to get it sorted. Okay. No pressure, Redmond, no pressure. Anyway, okay. Let's take our Traxsource Top 10. We're going to count them down for you from 10 to 1. 10. This is number 10 this week. In fact, it's coming down from number 4 from last week. Jester Funk, tune called Say It Again. Mickey Moore and Andy T on the remix. Groove Culture, the label. This also taking a slight move this week. It was formerly number 3 from last week. Ministers Della Funk and Jocelyn Brown. Of course, the iconic Believe, Kurt Maverick on the extended revamp at number 9 on Subliminal. Do love these guys. Matthew Bandy and Lee Darlow, they're going to the name Saison. This is on their own No Fuss label. This is Saison at number 8 this week. Tune is called Man of Soul, and this is the original mix. Seven. This whole EP is amazing from this guy, Adam Nyquist. This is the second tune off this EP, which was called, is it Endless Summer, I think, off the top of my head? Second summer, big part. Anyway, number 7 this week with the second tune off that called No One Knows. Love it. Six. You literally just heard it. About 6 minutes ago, I told you to get another little airing in the Traxsource Top 10 this week. It's Migs featuring Andy Allo, Sensations, the name of the tune, and it is Sandy Rivera's classic mix, So Furic Deep, at number 6. It's kind of fitting that Migs should be in between the two salted tunes. Here is number 5. This is the former number 1 from last week. My good friend Neil Schrader, Dutchican Soul on the remix for Artone and JJ. Back in Da Days is the name of this on Salted Music. Down to number 5 this week, 4 places. I feel like top of the pops now. Down 4 places to number 5. Anyway, this is number 4. This is Angelo Ferreri, James Darren, and Dan Mikes. Tune is called House Feeling Anthem. It's the original mix at number 4 on Mood Funk Recordings. I think this had a brief flirtation at number 1 as well, by the way, but it was last week's number 2 from the awesomely talented Mike Milrain. This is doing huge things, everyone loving this, and you can hear why. This is called Lift Me Up, at number 3 this week, down one place. The original mix, Soul Revolution, the label, which means we've 2 brand new number 2 and number 1 spots. What will they be? Moon Rocket on the kind of Latin-y Afro vibe on this from Mate and Omich featuring Ella, not Steve's mom.
House music was formed.
Maybe it is. I don't know. And it's called Roots, and it's the Moon Rocket remix on Mate and Omich music.
It's all about the music. It's all about elements.
Brand new at number 1. All the big players in this. Where do we start? It's Undefected, first of all. It's Idris Elba, the actor, yes. Inner City, the amazing Inner City, Kevin Saunderson and co, featuring Stephanie Christian. And this is called No More Looking Back. David Penn on the extended mix. This week's number 1. I think I would have failed the audition for Dobbin and Pops back in the day, wouldn't I? Oh, next. Rubbish.
The Global House Session, broadcasting live on Gravity FM and around the world on uniquesessionsradio.live.
Right, so last week's Hot Mix was a big deal. Of course, if you were watching or listening to the show last week, you would be aware that we went to a record fair in the next town and we dug out the oddest vinyl we could find. Was the only dance vinyl we could find, and for the most part the 5 of them worked pretty well. They were pitched down to a -20, but they worked pretty well, except for one for the disco, which didn't go great, but that's okay. And this week I said, you know, the pressure is on to do something now. I didn't want to take it outside the house, firstly because it's lashing rain today here in Wicklow, but I did want to take it outside the house this week, and I decided, you know what, I haven't done a producer's spotlight Hot Mix in a little while, so I reckoned Full Intention would have been a really good idea to do a revisit of some of the older Full Intention tracks. And it also occurred to me that in 2021 there's probably a generation of clubbers and record buyers and music lovers who don't know some of the early Full Intention tunes. You only know the recent stuff, and you really got to get with some of this. So I went through my old box of mini discs. I used to do a pirate radio show years ago back here in Dublin, and it was called Nova 947 was the station. The show was called Sound System, and I had Full Intention on many times. I had Mike and John on separately many times on the show being interviewed, but at one point, I think it was around 1999, it's that long ago, I can't quite remember exactly when. It was around 1999. I went over to them, to their studio. At the time it was in a place called Red Hill in the UK, and I went over to the studio. Mike picked me up, I think it was in a red BMW, brought me to McDonald's first of all, which I was really grateful for, and then we went down to the studio, and it was like, wow, I'm in Full Intention studio talking to my heroes in their, you know, in the den. This is where everything happens. This is the studio. This is the mothership of all these amazing Full Intention products. I pulled out the mini disc to play you some clips tonight of this, and it says Full Intention interview edits. I'm assuming it's from 99, doesn't have a date on it. And I said, great, there's going to be some, because I remembered some of the interview, and we'll get to that in a second. But unfortunately, it's completely and utterly blank. I have no idea why it's blank. I've tried it on 3 different mini disc players. I've dug them even out of the under the stairs, and it works on none of them. It's blank. Heartbreaking. However, because they're such good guys, and because I just got really, really lucky, and I procrastinated so badly thinking about this last night only, I said, I'll chance if the guys can even have a quick chat today on the show for me. They're joining us on the Global House Session tonight. Michael Gray and John Byrne, Full Intention with us tonight. Lads, hello. Are you there?
Hello, Niall. How you doing?
Mike, how are you? John,
hey,
are you with us?
Right.
How are you, John? It's great to talk to both of you. First of all, I'm sure you caught some of that intro there, and I don't know if you remember that visit. You probably don't. It was that.
No, I remember it. I remember collecting you outside Red Hill Station and took you to where our studio was at the time, was in Godstone. Yeah, you got the car colour wrong. No, it wasn't red.
Was it green?
I think it was green.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I was red and green in my head going, was it red or green? Was it BMW? Okay, this didn't say it was a red Mercedes. Okay, wow. Yeah, so Godstone was the studio. Was Red Hill the train station then? Is that where I'm mixing that up?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you think my memory would be a lot crisper than that? I think it was around 99. Do you remember, John, if it was 99 or if it was? I think it was pre-millennium.
I remember, to be honest, yeah, it would have been around there. I remember the studio, obviously, yeah. so that would have been about the right time.
Wow, it was such a magical time. I'm gutted that has been blanked. I really am. But you're so good to come on the show tonight, because I tell you why I wanted to bring you on. More importantly, I was going to play clips out of the interview about some of the older tunes, but I wanted to really briefly kind of reminisce with you guys, going back to that time, you know, late 90s, early 00s, I guess, of Full Intention Productions. I have them all behind me in the vinyl rack here, all the Detention releases, all the different remixes and stuff.
Good man.
And I'm going to get you guys to actually help me out with the hot mix tonight. I'm going to get you guys to pick two of your own choices from that era. So if you get your thinking caps on for that. But there's one I want to pick, and if you don't mind me doing that, I'm going to tell you what it is, because it was part of this interview that I'm good it isn't there, but we can talk about it now. It's a Jennifer Lopez tune, right? I'm going to just pull it out so people can see it. If I can find it. Right, here it is. It was great. In the lockdown, I reorganised all my records so I can pretty much put my hand on anything, which is brilliant. I have a whole Full Intention section, by the way. I'll have to get you over to sign it later on, yeah. Anyway, it's Jennifer Lopez. It's a tune called Love Don't Cost a Thing. Now, this might help the year. The year was actually 2000 on the back sleeve of this, so I reckon if I got hold of this... So the interview had to be in 99-2000 that we did in Godstone. So this is 21 years old. This is Love Don't Cost Thing. It's a Full Intention club mix, and I love this record. I still love this record. But I remember at the time when I went to your studio, we were chatting about this particular production. It had just been done, I think. And the story, I'll let you guys take it over, but the story was this wasn't quite as easy, I suppose, or as straightforward a remix. A lot of work went into this. So for anyone who knows the original, this tune, it's quite a slow tune. It's quite it's an R&B kind of jerky kind of tune, and the house mix is almost completely different record, even though it's recognisable as a Jennifer Lopez track. So guys, what do you remember about doing this tune?
Well, I remember it took an awfully long time to do that one. Technology is much better today, to be perfectly honest. In those days, we used samplers, and we had to literally cut the vocal into, I think that one we took it down to syllables pretty much, and then refired them back in on a keyboard. The problem is it was an R&B track. It was really slow. To make it a house mix, we literally had to regroove every syllable of the vocal to fit over our new production, and it took days and days just to get the vocal right, even before we'd worked on the backing track. But yeah, we got there. We'd all do a little. I'd have a little go, and then Mike would have a little go, and even the engineer came in and had a little go when we were mixing it down as well.
Mike, you remember this pretty similar, do you? Do you remember chatting about this?
Yeah, absolutely. It was, like John said, it was an awful lot of hard work, and the fact that the way it was sung was very different, even for an R&B record today. It was so many syllables she was firing off in each verse. So to try and put it into house format was interesting, and then of course we changed all the music. Everything was completely changed. The upside to this remix, that she ended up doing her TV appearances with our mix in the US. We got a call just before Christmas, I think, saying, can you do a TV version, which basically means the lead vocal is taken out, and it's edited, so she could then go on live on television and actually sing our mix, not the original, which was a real plus for us. You don't expect things like that to happen. What we were doing then was, not many people were remixing vocal records. A lot of remixers would make a dub and just use a few bits of vocal, but we just loved working on the full song, and so that's why I think a lot of people ended up coming to us, particularly then the American labels were coming to us direct. We weren't sort of asked to do the job for our UK label. You know, this is once we were established, it was amazing. We had all the different labels, Arista, Sony, just coming direct from the US. So we were lucky enough to be offered the best. But again, it took a long time for us to work our craft and try and build up to that kind of thing, and it was a lot harder for someone to remix a record back then. Took a lot of sweat and what have you, and we were happy to put in the time for it. Like John said, you know, that vocal, just to get the vocal in time, you know, was a day, 2 days. A lot of people would have just said, I can't be bothered doing that, let's just take a little bit and fire a bit of vocal and loop it all the time, and we didn't. And that's, I think, how we ended up getting so much work.
So 21 years later, I mean, how much easier would it have been to do the exact same job with the technology of today, I guess? It would have been...
the vocal could have probably been, you know, done in the morning, I would have thought.
Wow.
Even chopping it up and regrooving the syllables could have been done pretty quickly. So yeah, kids have got it easy these days with the technology and the computers and stuff.
Yeah.
So tune selection wise tonight, I genuinely have no idea. I'm hoping I have them behind me. I'm kind of priding myself on my Full Intention discography at the back here, that I have everything, and I hope you're not going to surprise me here. I do have the Jennifer Lopez, of course, in my hand. That's my choice. You cannot pick that, okay? You cannot pick that. But you can pick anything else. So we're going to get in the mix because you guys have very kindly come on at very, very, very short notice, and I don't want to keep your time. I want to talk to you at the end of the mix, of course, but I don't want to keep you too much time-wise here on the radio. But John, pick two for me from that era that you remember. They can be for any reason.
I'm going to go for Darjay and Full Intention. What Do You Want?
Oh yeah,
it's one of the tracks we wrote when we went on a writing trip to New York. We met up with Darjay and all the Strictly Rhythm people, and we had a great 2 weeks over there, and it was really, really amazing. So that'll always be a track close to my heart. And the other one, I'm going to choose Una Mas, I Will Follow, which is a production we did for Defected. Samples Ain't No Mountain High Enough Strings from The Inner Life with Jocelyn Brown. Just one of my all-time favourite kind of tracks, that is, and the string riff is so emotional and amazing. It was such a pleasure to have a, get an orchestra in there and record that properly and do that. So those are my two.
Well, I'm going to pull the Una Mas out now, John, because I want you to tell me which mix, because it was several mixes I used to play this, right? Hang on a second.
We've got Full Intention Club Mix, and there's a dub as well. And I'm looking at a dub instrumental as well.
Right? Here's the promo, right?
But yeah, the club mix would be great.
Club mix. Okay, Full Intention Club Mix. That's the one I would have played anyway. Great. But there's a lot of mix on this. Good Lord. Brilliant. Right, we have that one. Okay, and of course, the one with Darjay. Great stuff. Okay, listen, I was trying to think of great choice, but it could be anything. Love them all. So it's great. Right, Mike, what we take from your side of things?
Okay, well, I love those two John has chosen as well. Again, good memories for those. And when we were on that writing trip that John mentioned in New York, we also wrote a track with Blaze, and it was called I'll Be Waiting. That was Full Intention featuring Shenna. Originally Sybil did the vocals as kind of the demo when we were out there in New Jersey, but financially we couldn't afford to pay us. We were lucky enough to get Shenna on that. So yeah, I'll go for that one. And my other choice, it's really hard. This is really hard to choose. I could choose quite a few. Very proud of all of them, but probably our first main record, which was America. I Love America.
I have that here somewhere as well, I think, in the collection. Let me see. It is here. I'm only doing this because I can put my hand on these. Yeah, there you go. It's actually the Stress Records version I have. That's the Stress Records version
all right,
I have. So we're going to go with the Sugar Daddy mix or the full-length 12-inch vocal mix?
Full-length 12-inch mix, I think that's the one.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I'll throw in the Jennifer Lopez, a good measure. Right, guys, I'm going to get these in the mix. And do you know what? It was a bit cruel because I couldn't have chosen. I was like, what? You saying you could have picked? I could have picked so many amazing Full Intention records that I said if I just get the guys to do it, it'll take all that angst away from picking my favourite ones. But definitely Jennifer Lopez has to be in there because it's such a great record. And I don't think it's available digitally unless it's on iTunes or something maybe. But I haven't seen it on the Traxsource Top Ten. Guys, I'm going to go in the mix. We'll come back and say goodbye before we go. Is that okay?
Yep, no problem.
Yeah, great.
On air from Grantham 24 hours a day. This is Gravity FM.
Saturdays for you to see what your life can truly be. Saturdays for you to see what your life can truly be.
And now for my next number.
How things changed.
World of Music.
Exclusive guest hot mix on the GHS.
Injected with a poison.
Welcome to our house.
Exclusive guest hot mix on the GHS.
Right, this one is picked by me. This is the Jennifer Lopez. Right, the guys have literally gone off to grab a cup of tea or whatever. Tell them I'll give them a shout back before we end the hot mix tonight for a little chat. They're going to be listening in though. How nicely. So you have the advantage of actually knowing the records before we play them tonight, so we shall back announce them afterwards. Just sit back, relax like Mike and John are right now, and enjoy some amazing full intention lookbacks from 20 years ago and some beyond that. This from 2000, Jennifer Lopez, Love Don't Cost a Thing. If you know the original of this, you're going to be going, wow!
Exclusive guest hot mix on the GHS.
Classic tracks, classic tracks, classic tracks, classic tracks.
Global House Social.
Exclusive guest hot mix on the GHS.
Gravity FM.
here and go back into time.
Global House Social.
Classic tracks, classic tracks, classic tracks.
Global House Social.
What do you want? Want from me? What do you want? Want from me?
Global House
What do
Social.
you want? Want from me?
Exclusive guest hot mix on the GHS.
Want from me?
The finest ingredients are right in the mix.
Global House Session.
Classic tracks, classic tracks, classic tracks.
But you ain't no good. And you know what? I tend to believe them now because your ass is right out that door. Me and the kids, we're gonna make it right without you. I don't need you no more.
Exclusive guest hot mix on the GHS.
If you have just joined us tonight, it is the Global House Session. Niall Redmond sitting in for Steve. So Mafia Watts once again this week. We're in the hot mix with a producer's spotlight on Full Intention as chosen by Mike and John. They're going to be coming back in a little bit to have a chat before we go tonight to One for the Disco. And this is John's selections at the moment. We're going to go to Mike's next. We'll tell you what we played after, okay?
The finest ingredients are right in the mix.
Global House Session. House Session.
Calling
Global House Session.
Feel good house music on the Global House Session.
Gravity FM.
You can do it, you can feel it, and we can all move with it.
Exclusive guest hot mix on the GHS.
If house is a nation,
Quiet times, thoughts of you on my mind.
Global House Session.
Classic tracks, classic tracks, classic tracks.
Two arms to hold you, two lips to kiss you. Won't do me any good. All I do is miss you. I'll be right here where I was when you left me. I'll be right here where I am waiting. I'll be right here since the day you left me. I'll be right here where I am. I'll be waiting when your heart decides to stay. I'll be waiting when your love comes my way. And I'll be waiting when your heart decides to stay. And I'll be waiting when your love comes my way.
What we're gonna do right here is go back. Back into time.
Exclusive guest hot mix on the GHS.
Gravity FM.
The guys picking the music tonight, Full Intention themselves. Well, I picked the first one. We start off with Jennifer Lopez, Love Don't Cost a Thing, the Full Intention club mix from the year 2000. On to 2001 then, Essence Records. Remember them? Essence was Phil Cheeseman's label, I think, wasn't it? We played you the vocal mix. It was John's Choice, Daje, Full Intention, What Do You Want? Love this tune. Una Mas, I Will Follow. Nearly picked the wrong one out of rack. Wouldn't have liked that, would they? Sorry, guys. Anyway, it was Una Mas, I Will Follow, the club mix by Full Intention. That was on Defected 2001 as well. John Byrne's second choice tonight. Keeping with 2001, Michael Gray's first choice. It was Shenna and Full Intention, I'll Be Waiting. We played you the Gray and Pern mix. And this going back to 1995. Wow. Full Intention presents America, I Love America, in brackets. And that's on Stress Records. A Hustler Convention, remember them? That was Full Intention too, of course. Hustler Convention's production. There you go. Right, we'll let this play for a minute. We get the guys back on first to have a chat before we go to the one for the disco tonight.
Global House Social.
There you go, Full Intention. Full Intention with us tonight on the Global House Session, picking some tunes from their back catalogue, and we're going way back for some of these. These are tunes that, as I said at the start of the mix tonight, you know, you may not have, if you're of a certain age, you may not have heard these before. And actually, Mike, I was thinking about all these tunes we're playing. We had a chat on the Pirate Radio show years ago, and this will tell you how long ago this was. And at the end of the interview, I should really pull up the audio, but at the end of the interview, we congratulate you on expecting twins.
Oh right, my God.
Those twins are probably in full-time jobs now, are they?
Wow.
How long ago was that?
Now I feel old.
So do I.
Yeah.
It was 2000. Would that have been 2003? Would it?
Yeah, they're 18 now.
Wow.
They're
Okay, there you
nearly
go.
19 next month. So
there
yeah, you're spot on. How funny. Yeah, they were so crazy days. I can't tell you the tiredness of walking into the studio in the morning when one of them had been up all night. Plus, we already had one that was 18 months old, so it was 3 kids all in all under 18 months. It was pretty full on, yeah.
Wow. Well, John, we were talking about Full Intention coming to Dublin in our chat, and again, I know we chatted together many times on the show, but I happened in my mini disc mountain to find sort of separate interviews with both of you on separate occasions. And John, we were talking about Full Intention and you come to Dublin, and you had never been to Dublin at that point, so that's 20 odd years ago, but you've obviously been since, I think, haven't you? You've been over a few times since, in fact.
Yes, yeah, I can't honestly remember, it put me on the spot, but we have played Dublin a couple of times.
It was the Tivoli, I think.
Venue
it was
with
the
a
Tivoli.
balcony on it and everything.
I think it was the Tivoli, John, which is now sadly gone. But yeah, but do remember that, because it's funny, you know, when you listen back to some of these old interviews, you're like, God, you know, look what's happened since. So yes, we did make that happen eventually, thank God. Well, look, guys, I want to let you go because thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. I know it was literally imminent notice. It wasn't even last minute notice. It was like, can you do this now? And you so kindly have come onto the show tonight. Really deeply appreciate that. But just because of the times we're in, because of the, you know, things that have gone on the last 18, 19 months with pandemics and all that kind of thing, thank God it's great to hear both of you are fit and well and safe and everything like that. But things starting to open up in the UK. What's happening before we let you go? I'm seeing you on Facebook, Mike, on the train and stuff, doing some gigs. John, are you gigging as well? What's happening?
yeah, things are opening. I mean, we've got a couple of outdoor festivals coming up. Playing Defected on 18th of September. No, Clockstock. Oh, I get confused now. Hold on.
Yeah, I do too.
We've got
Definitely in September.
Clockstock on the 18th of September and Defected Festival on the 25th at Drum Sheds. So yeah, they're outside. Indoor clubs have opened now as well. So fingers crossed, this is the beginning of getting back to normal. And but yeah, everyone be safe out there, and hopefully we'll see you all soon.
Yeah,
Mike, are you jumping on another train anytime soon?
Yeah, I've been on trains recently quite a bit. No, that's it for this week. I'm little holiday as of Friday to Devon. That'll do me, but
Good
not
man.
by train this time.
To Devon. Okay, well, look, enjoy that, mate. John,
Thank
thanks
you.
so much as well. You enjoy your gigs, and guys, really appreciate you coming on. Loving the music as always. Have been forever. And thanks for coming on the show tonight. It was amazing to talk to you. God bless. Take care.
Cheers. Take care. See ya.
One for the disco.
Right, a sort of tinge of, well, big tinge of sadness, not a sort of, massive tinge of sadness. It's our one for the disco this week. This man, last Wednesday, while we were on air, we got news that this man had passed away. And what I mean by that is we didn't know till we finished the show. So this week we decided we would go with the one for the disco from Paul Johnson, who sadly passed away last Wednesday from COVID-19 complications in Chicago. This is the classic from 1999. Moody Records then signed to Defected. You know well. Get down. One for the disco this week.
One for the disco. Classic tracks, classic tracks, classic tracks, classic tracks. One for the disco.
Into the disco scene.
Global House Social.
Oh yeah, drop another bad one.
One for the disco.
Gravity FM.
There you are, this week's one for the disco off my vinyl copy, which I bought back in the day being, wow, 1999, over 22 years ago. Paul Johnson, 50 years of age. He passed away last Wednesday from COVID-19. Isn't that terrible? Absolutely terrible. To think what a loss. And of course his probably biggest hit, but amazing producer. Have a look back at his other tunes when you get a chance if you don't know them already. Of course interesting thing about Paul Johnson was in a wheelchair. He was, I think he was hit by a stray bullet back in the late 80s in Chicago, and it left him wheelchair bound. So he, yeah, it was unusual because he would be in a DJ booth where everyone used to be jumping around in a wheelchair, you know, which must have been difficult to say the least. But anyway, there you go, Paul Johnson, R.I.P., rest in peace, my friend. And thanks for the music. This week's one for the disco. Right, we're going to finish off with two more newies. Let's do newies till we go tonight. In the heat of getting the one for the disco on, massive thanks to Mike and John from Full Intention. I'm telling you now, when I say I mailed them and said, guys, can you come on the radio like in the next 3 minutes? Are you even in the country? Are you in your house? Or where are you? And they said, yeah. So massive love and massive thanks to the legends. They are absolutely... Listen, we played, 5 tunes from Full Intention. We could have played 125 if we had the time, and they all are amazing. So thanks to Mike and John for coming on tonight for our producer spotlight hot mix. No record fairs this week, but I think Full Intention topped that. Well done, guys.
One for the disco.
Oh yeah, drop another bad one.
I'm going to do my level best to stay under, or certainly on time tonight, and get us in 2 hours. Andy McCall will fly over especially to beat me to death if I don't, I think. That was our one for the disco, R.I.P. Mr. Paul Johnson, Get Down from 1999. We're playing the defective version, was on Moody Records 2. There you go, right. Second last tune tonight. This is by Dublin. I don't think he's even from, or she's even from Dublin. Whoever they may be. Anyway, it's Dublin is the act. This is called Reach. Angelo Ferrari on the 2021 remix. Out today. Ocean Tracks recording.
finest ingredients are right in the mix.
Gravity FM.
I'm checking the global house session.
Right, Full Intention were the only guests on tonight's show. Now, I appreciate if you're listening on the radio and you've no visual to back this up, that this may mean nothing. You'll have to imagine the cutest thing ever. I'm minding Ed, the dog, this week at home, and he's been a very good boy, and he hasn't barked or, needed to go out to the toilet during the making of the show tonight. So I said I'd bring him on and praise him publicly. So Ed, good boy. Well done. He's also the image of my Tibetan Terrier Rinky, who you may have seen in the past. It's not the same dog. So thanks. The Global House Session came to an association, or in Ed allowing it to happen. Okay. Good boy, Ed. Right, a few minutes to the final tune tonight. Then over to Andy McCall for Floor Fitters right here on Gravity FM. We're going to go to an exclusive tonight. This is forthcoming on Subtractive. That's the ONS's record label, of course. And this is brand new from Gregory Berger.
Exclusive.
Tune here is called I Found You.
Exclusive.
And we're playing the extended vocal mix. Forthcoming next week on Subtractive.
Exclusive.
Yeah, that wraps up another show this week. My second show in a row, covering Steve Watts this week. He's back on your radio next week. He'll finally be able to take over once again the reins, back from the brink of madness, no doubt. We got to say goodbye to you, finishing off Gregory Berger. Maybe it's Berger. I'll go with Berger. I Found You on Subtractive Records, the extended mix. Andy McCall is next with Floor Fillers. I will leave you in his very capable hands. Big thanks to Andy for helping us as well with not only last week's show but this week's show. Huge thanks to all of you out there who took part and listened in tonight. Sorry if we didn't give you a shout out. Watsy will make it up to you next week. And of course, massive thanks to my dear friends Michael Gray and John Purn, aka Full Intention, for coming on at the shortest notice possible. I'll be ringing the Guinness Book of Records over that next. Anyway, Steve next week, he's back. Probably full of sand in his shoes and tanned as well, which is great. I will talk to you sometime in the future. You have a good rest of your week. Take care of your good selves. Good night. Thanks again.